The Chinese now pretty much control Maldives. Israelis have said that, we had gone to Lakshadweep a couple of years back and we studied desalination there because Israelis are market leaders in desalination technology, and they said, somebody made a comment that India is our 911. When we are in trouble, we call India. And India has supplied everything from drinking water to training to medicines. Chain friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the CHANAKYA Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what's happening between India and Maldives. You're aware that on 4th of January, the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, went to Lakshadweep to promote domestic tourism, and somehow it triggered certain sentiments in Maldives, and now 3 of their ministers stand suspended for opening their mouth when they should not have. Now, China has stepped in, and through its official mouthpiece, the Global Times, which is widely recognized as the official mouthpiece of the Communist Party of China, China has effectively said that this relationship that Maldives has, it can have relationship with both India and China. It's not a binary relationship, and we do not want, Maldives to choose sides and all that. And it's okay if Maldives has an equal, a partnership with India, or it has some sort of a relationship with India. China does not mind that. Words to that effect. Now, it is China which started these things in motion. All these things have happened. The ministers over a period of time deliberately targeting Prime Minister Modi personally. At that time, they were in the opposition. They were funded heavily by the Chinese. The Chinese now pretty much control Maldives. So what happened was that they were, targeting India. They were targeting Prime Minister Modi. They were targeting the Bharatiya Janata Party, and nobody took cognizance because, people say stuff all the time, and you can't react to anybody and everybody who says something against you. That's not how it happens. But what happened here is that those very people became ministers, and as soon as they became ministers, in trying to prove their loyalty to the Chinese, they started saying even much more. They started attacking the person of the Prime Minister directly, being ministers in the Maldivian government. Now, China being China, played a smart card. China took a step back and said, hey, we are not responsible for this here. And we don't mind if you have a relationship with India. China wants to sound statesman-like. The problem is that China is behind all these problems that have taken place between India and Maldives recently. Mohammad Muizzu, who is the president of Maldives, is a Chinese-funded puppet. And, he's been seen, there are videos viral on social media where this guy has been going around saying, India out and India should leave the Maldives. And, he's referring to 2 helicopters and a small plane, which India gave to Maldives because Maldives said that, we need manpower and we need helicopters and we need 1 plane because sick Maldivians are not able to go because it's full of islands. There is no mainland Maldives. There's just a bunch of islands. And if your hospital happens to be in another island, then either you reach the hospital or you're dead. So we provided them with a plane, we provided them with helicopters so that patients could be taken, and they could also monitor smugglers. So anti-smuggling operations could take place. That is why a very small detachment of persons from the Indian Armed Forces were there on Maldives' request. Now, this was made out to be by the Maldivian authorities as something so big as if India has invaded Maldives. Now, this is silly, but this is what they wanted to do. They whipped up public sentiment against India, and well, they won the elections. That's all right. But now there are people within Maldives who are calling for the ouster of the newly elected president. That has started. If you want to play dirty games, and this I'm saying to China, if you want to play dirty games, we never wanted to play dirty games. But if you want to play dirty games, 2 can play the same game. Even we have money. If it's a question of unsettling Maldives, we don't want to do it because that is not India's way. But if anything wrong is done to India, Indians will protest, and we will play that game. When I say we'll play that game, we'll make sure that we also protest as loudly as we can. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here is a tweet. Sagarika Goos, well-known journalist. She says, reality check. Maldives has around 170 top-class resorts and 900 guest houses, each resort on an island. Lakshadweep has a handful, none remotely close to 5-star category. The last time Lakshadweep made headlines was when the Lieutenant Governor there recommended a beef ban. Tourism demands quality and an open and inclusive culture. Instead of boycotting Maldives, let's do a reality check of Indian tourism. Now, I must have said something to Sagarika Goos in the past. I don't know if I did. I normally do not comment on people unless they happen to have a Pakistani passport or a Chinese passport for that matter. I normally do not. Normally. Though that's not 100%. I have broken this rule a couple of times, but I don't remember saying anything remotely to offend Sagarika Goos. But for some reason, she blocked me on Twitter. And for some reason, Mahua Moitra blocked me on Twitter. And for some reason, Mehbooba Mufti's reason I know. Because I've been questioning Mehbooba Mufti repeatedly. And Mahua Moitra I questioned once. And I said that you're welcome as a member of parliament. At that time she was not yet sacked. And I said, you're welcome to question the Prime Minister of India every single day, but I would also like to know what you've done for your constituency. And she didn't like this question. She said, off with you. But I still don't know why Sagarika Goos has blocked me. Anyway, it does not matter. Let's come back to the topic, ladies and gentlemen. Now she's saying that, Maldives, your infrastructure is bad. Let's look inwards. All that is fine. I would just like to tell Sagarika Goos that in 2023, Maldives had approximately 17.5 lakh, that is 1.75 million tourists, out of which a majority were Indians, of course. The top ranking were Indians in terms of numbers. So 1.75 million tourists visited Maldives last year. Now, India is a massive country, but only Kashmir Valley, 80 kilometers by 40 kilometers. You know how many people visited Kashmir Valley? Only last year in 2023, Kashmir Valley was visited by 16 million plus people. 1.75 million in Maldives, 16 million. 16 million in Kashmir Valley. So I understand that Lakshadweep, Maldives is the entire Maldives. Lakshadweep is a very, very small part of India. A very small part of India. We have tourism that blows Maldives out of the water. This is not to say that Maldives does not matter. Of course, every country matters. But for somebody, she doesn't understand. Or perhaps I would recommend to the lady that she step out of South Delhi. She step out of South Delhi and understand what the common person feels. When you insult India, it's not okay. When you insult our Prime Minister, it's not okay. And we will not take it lying down. And perhaps journalists like her, and I say this with all due respect, she's a lady and I respect her. I may disagree with her, but I respect her. I would just say that journalists like her must get a reality check, must understand what's happening on the ground, must understand what the common Indian feels. And the common Indian feels very, very strongly about these things. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Congress party has objected, and the Congress party has said that India, it's China's victory in Maldives, and China now controls Maldives, and India's foreign policy with respect to our neighbors is not so good, etc. I think being an opposition party, they will oppose everything, and that is okay, that is their right. But what they're saying is not factually correct, actually. India never sought to control the Maldives. Having influence and control is two separate things, and the Maldivians themselves will realize, when you shake the hand of a Chinese, always count your fingers. What they've done to Sri Lanka, what they've done to Pakistan, though in case of Pakistan, I think the Pakistanis deserve it, what they've done to much of Africa. Maldives will face that same music. And we still have a lot of people in Maldives who say that, India, somebody made a comment that India was is our 911. When we are in trouble, we call India. And India has supplied everything from drinking water to training, to medicines, to infrastructure, to cash, you name it. And once, when there was a coup, India sent the 50th Independent Para Brigade, Operation Cactus. We rescued Maldives from a military coup. With somebody in Maldives had gotten in touch with Sri Lankan Tamil rebels, and they had come all the way to Maldives to take over the country. We rescued them. So I think we are entitled to a little bit of respect from Maldives and their current government. Now, another thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that you've all heard about Ease My Trip indefinitely stopping booking to the Maldives flights. Now, Indian Association of Tour Operators also has reported a decline in fresh inquiries, and the Confederation of All India Traders. Now, this is not, ladies and gentlemen, only about travel and tourism, etc. This is a body of traders all over India. And this body, the Confederation of All India Traders, has appealed to exporters not to do business with Maldives. So they're saying don't do business with Maldives. Cut out Maldives, not just for tourism. It's not about visiting. Don't even do business with Maldives. This is what they're saying. And Indian Airlines also says that, in fact, Air India says that, the demand for tickets has really dropped. Very few people want to go to Maldives. And Bollywood stars like Akshay Kumar, Salman Khan, John Abraham, Amitabh Bachchan, and cricket legends like Sachin Tendulkar, Venkatesh Prasad, and Akash Chopra have started promotion of Lakshadweep at a massive scale through their social media accounts. The Indian Chamber of Commerce (ICC) calls on Indian tourism and trade associations to halt promotions of Maldives. Now, Tata has announced, because Maldives spoke about hotels and they said we have world-class infrastructure, etc. What Tata has said is that, we plan to open 2 resorts in Lakshadweep in 2026. These resorts will be located on the islands of Soheli and Kadmat. The Indian Hotels Company, a Tata Group subsidiary, is developing these Taj-branded resorts as greenfield projects. So it says that within 2 years, these resorts will be up and running in some of the finest and the most pristine locations in Lakshadweep. It will help the local economy and it will, give Indians another place to go to. I think this is a wonderful thing that the Tatas have done. And I don't think Oberoi can be far behind, and other hotel chains of India will be far behind. People are going to now start scrambling to Lakshadweep. And Lakshadweep, see, Goa, tourists from the entire world come to Goa. Tourists from the entire world will now start going to Lakshadweep. And the Maldives Tourist Association, this is called the Maldives Association of Tourism Industry, MATI. They have condemned their own ministers. They're saying, what the hell are you talking about? Indians are our biggest customers. How can you offend your biggest customer? What business sense does it make? So their trading bodies and their operators, tour operators, have started condemning their own government and said that, this is absolutely juvenile behavior and you shouldn't do that. And it's harming us because Indians have cancelled thousands of rooms in Maldives and thousands of air tickets. They're just cancelling everything. Nobody wants to go to Maldives any longer. And we have another news is that, and this is the last news. And the last thing is that Israel, Israelis, a group of Israelis from the Israel government visited Lakshadweep a couple of years back. And so there was a tweet from the Israelis, and ladies and gentlemen, this is the last news of the day. The Israelis have said that, we had gone to Lakshadweep a couple of years back and we studied desalination there because Israelis are market leaders in desalination technology, and they said that this place needs desalination. The tweet, here's the tweet. They say that whenever the government of India tells us, the next day we'll be in Lakshadweep setting up desalination plants. Lakshadweep has a lot of water, but all of it is salty. People inside have limited drinking water. So this increases the volume of drinking water available to the people there. And today the people have enough drinking water. People who are natives of Lakshadweep. But, tomorrow there are going to be thousands and thousands of tourists, maybe millions of tourists. So they will need drinking water, and this is where the Israelis come in. Ladies and gentlemen, with that I come to the end of my video, and I have one question only today, and this question is from Chinmay Dangale. Vande Mataram Major, Vande Mataram Chinmay ji. He's saying the pro-democracy fighters in Myanmar are now fighting alongside armed ethnic groups, some of whom may have been hostile towards India in the past. At the same time, the Burmese military has historically had China's backing. Where does this put India, and how have the armed miscreants in Manipur and other areas of Northeast had access to weapons despite surveillance along the Burmese border? See, that border is porous. There is Assam Rifles, there are elements of the Indian Army there, largely the Assam Rifles' responsibility, but it's very, very difficult. This is hardcore jungle, thick foliage, and there are tribes living and there are relatives here and there. There are Burmese people who have relations in India, Indians who have relations there. And there is movement. You can restrict, but you cannot absolutely deny movement. It's too long, too inhospitable. The foliage is too thick. It's simply I mean, as far as border guarding goes, it's terrible terrain. So we have to understand that piece when we talk about how weapons are coming into it and how does it impact India. Of course, anything that happens on India's borders, including the fighting by the Burmese junta and armed insurgents, etc., fighting with each other or fighting near the border with China, it's bound to have a spillover effect. And the biggest thing is the refugee crisis. People are going to move. They've already done that. And they're doing it more and more every day. The more the fighting escalates, the more people will come towards India. And you don't know who's coming inside. It's difficult to stop. There is no giant wall which can restrict the movement of humans. It's not like that. It's easy on the Pakistan border, the international border. You can create a fence. Here you can't. It becomes very difficult. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I come to the end of my video today. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.